because I figured that you guys, that is so smart,
Thank you.
Regina, that's awesome. Do you need a pen? Monique, you need a pen?
Well,
This
here,
is
let
a
me, I
pretty
have one. I have one. That's a good one. Do I have to give it back?
It's from here, I already, you know,
Okay.
it's a second.
So I won't be stealing it from you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just be stealing it from the bowl.
Analytic.
Do I have to give it back?
That's the driver amiable.
Now, so the first things that I want to try to accomplish today is to make sure that first of all we had 2 weeks to think about all these things, and I'm hoping that you had time to do that. Did you check the desks? Did you have the opportunity to look at the
No,
desks?
I'm not looking at anybody's
outside?
desk.
Outside. It's amazing. I mean, you're gonna learn how to say, okay, lion, fecal, lion, man,
Well,
man, fecal, owl, lion.
I walk through, when I go to the break room or whatever, I make it a purpose to cross through finance.
So you can look.
And I see a lot of, what is it,
Ducks?
owls.
Owls. With
Yeah.
the analytics and the charts and everything.
Yeah, they have all the stuff
Yeah.
labeled and neatly placed. And
So today I want to know if you are actually in touch with your own style. So yes, last time we circled pretty much where we thought that we were. So I want to run that down before I start, so we can actually kind of like put the names in the quadrant somewhere, so we can start just thinking about us in trying to recognize each other's styles.
Mhm.
So as we start communicating, from this moment forward, we can be more aware of what other people's styles are. All right. So of course, I'm gonna break the ice. I'm right here.
there's a lot of drivers out there too in finance.
Just
Maybe
them.
mostly because they share
At
that.
work.
Yeah, because they share that.
At
This
work,
empty.
just
It's like
them.
there's nothing there. Just work.
I'm sort of like there, like that.
Mhm.
Where are you? Where are you, T?
T. I am the bottom. I'm the bottom.
The analytical driver.
Mhm.
Yes. Half and half?
Yes. I have some expressiveness too.
Yeah, and we all have we're supposed, you know that the goal in life is to be here.
I like you.
That's the goal in life,
Mm-hmm.
to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people are, but
No.
that's the goal in life. To just have a little bit of everything and be
Mhm.
just a well-rounded human being.
Or can you kind of make my name like that instead?
That's the owl in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Can you like that?
She wants it to touch expressive.
All right, so
Yeah.
it will be. See? 3
Okay.
and
How come you don't have an
you
option
like
for?
that?
She doesn't have an option for COD.
Oh, the one expensive. I thought it was
Oh, the
amiable.
first one.
No. I'm just like,
OCD.
Oh, I mean OCD.
kind of like
She's kind of like that.
That would
It's
be
like-
detail oriented.
Oh,
Are you
determined?
learning
Okay.
something about this? You see? An owl will not deal with this. It's like you write it down, and I already put you there.
Right. Okay.
So start here and do this.
yes,
That's what you want me
yes,
to
yes,
do.
yes, yes.
Okay. 3
Jeezy Pete.
and shut.
That's me.
Trinisha, and this is fun. I love doing this. So don't worry about it. How about you, Regina? You have enough letters. Where do you want me to put you?
You have enough letters.
I don't know.
No, you don't, really?
I know
Are
it's
you-
animal. I know that's
Do you have peacock in you, driver?
yes. That's what we said the last time. Everything but analytical.
Anything but analytical? Alright, so let me use a different color. Because I'm going to go over our names. So, Regina Green. So it'll be red, G, no.
Yes.
See, that's not.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, and how about Vladimir?
You're gonna have to make a circle, man.
You're all of them?
I have I mean, I'm loyal, cooperative.
Let's start with your dominant. What's your dominant?
Oh, 3. Owl.
The owl, okay, and then what?
And then 4.
Here.
Driver.
So you're gonna go here,
And
here.
Then the
Two.
expressive
I'm outgoing, enthusiastic.
Uh-huh.
I'm loyal and cooperative.
So he's a circle. He's saying he's a circle.
Alright,
So
so
I-
Yeah, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Blah. I got enough letter. Enough
Blah.
letters.
three.
Oh my God.
You should have used his first name right there.
Right? Vlad. Okay, Vlad.
Yes.
Mary.
So,
She doesn't have a lot of letters on her name, so.
I have 4 quadrants. I can put
M-A-R-Y.
well, I know that my communicate, because it's really your communication style,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so, based on communication style, I would say I'm primarily a 4, which is a driver, because I just tend to be,
Yeah.
to the point. And normally I tend to be very independent, practical, determined, gonna get this done, that kind of a thing. But I know that in my heart of hearts, right, I am sensitive and supportive and spontaneous and enthusiastic and also serious, which is probably one of my least favorite traits of myself. Used to be a really favorite trait, but in the last year and a half, it's been one of those things I'm kind of like,
So
what
do
for?
you want to put yourself here like I did?
Yeah, that's okay.
You're missing something, Mary.
The other part that.
You're actually this
Do
way.
you really find yourself in numbers
very
and analytical?
She is very. She
You think?
will tackle that thing until it's done.
So I'm very detail oriented
Okay.
on that. So yes,
What's the driver?
like if Lori needs a report done,
Is
she
it a peacock?
So
can
you're-
usually count on me to do
So
it.
you're pretty much.
It's
like
not my
Felicia.
preferred way of doing things, and I tried to get my husband to handle the bills in the house, but I ended
driver's
up being
lying.
the one.
I don't like this micro sometimes.
And the,
So-
But like I
It's
said,
a
my heart
sheep.
of hearts is just to be free, happy, and healthy.
So Mary is a little bit in here, a little bit in here, a little bit in here.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Just like Trinisha.
But when I think about communication, and I receive feedback from others,
You're not here.
I have learned that I am primarily a driver. I really
Right.
am.
So
And I really don't like that
I agree
communication
with that.
style.
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
really don't, and I, like I said in our first meeting, that I apologize if, now that you know who I am, understand me and say, okay, I know in her heart of hearts, this is really not what she's meaning if she's hurting my feelings. Because I'm just, and I have learned not to say things that, I feel shouldn't be said. People, I'm sure, feel that I still say things that shouldn't be said, but
That's me. Sometimes I say things that shouldn't be
No.
said.
I gotcha.
I think that
Kinda like that
regardless of our communication style, we have a mind that says things in our mind. Like, what are you thinking? Or how many times have I told you this? Or are you for real? But and some people have the ability to just turn those thoughts into a complete opposite. Like, okay, I'll say it again. It's okay. I know that you were busy last 5 times that I told you. So, but some other people, depending on the stress level that they are, which is very important to take in consideration, is the stress level. They go because every different style under stress goes to a different place. And the driver under stress goes into that place that she was mentioning before. And I know, we all know the trajectory that we have followed in the last year or so, where there was a point where the stress level was a little higher, in terms of how things were and how under pressure we were and how many things she had on her plate. So, so the stress level of the driver definitely is assertive, almost aggressive. When you approach a driver that is under stress level, you're going to get a bark. It's really hard. You're gonna get a bark here, you're gonna get a growl here. It's like, and here it's like, in here, of course, this is going to be on a high pitch. I don't know what it is. And then in here, of course, you're going to get almost nothing, because when you are very stressed, they just go back into this moment where they either that or they cry or they get really really emotional, so they don't want to speak, because if they speak they may say the wrong thing, and they're so considerate to others that they tend not to say anything because it's too much for them to express. So under stress they stay quiet, even though their feelings are being hurt, and then they express it later when they feel that the moment is gone. But the driver and the expressive, these are direct communicators. They cannot wait. They're just gonna say it. They're just going to say it. And the analytic may not say it, but if they say it, it's going to be some kind of like, more like a complaint and a grouch and like a grumble. It's very interesting. I live with one, so I know what I'm saying. So, so those are the different communication styles for the different quadrants under stress, and that is something that, regardless of which one it is going to take you out of your comfort zone when you're because for a driver, this is going to get it. This behavior is going to get it aggravated, and for an amiable. This behavior is gonna send it to tears and so on and so forth. This person is gonna feel underappreciated. This person is just gonna feel that usually they get louder and louder, and then they just start complaining more vocally, out loud. I remember one. I remember one from here that every time that she was everything that happened, she had to say it. She had to say it. I hope that you remember her. She was a peacock, and she expressed every frustration that she had openly. She would stand up and start just talking and talking.
I know who you're talking about.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about past employees, but the dynamics of this team are, if we don't learn from the mistake of others, they say that smart people learn from their own mistakes, but really, really smart people learn from the mistakes of others. So, when I look at the communication styles of some of our coworkers that we had at some point or another, I could see all those traits and personalities, and I could understand why at some point or another they were on the extreme, which is something that I want to touch on, because you see, we all put ourselves here, right? Starting with me, we all want to feel that we have everything under control, right? That we can figure things out, and we are good at where we are, and we can manage our stress, and we are here. However, there is a predominant style that gets out of control in each and every one of us at certain times, that if we don't check it, that's when we get in trouble. For as long as we continue to stay here and try to be glad, we're good, It's when our predominant style, whichever it is, takes control of our lives, that we are going to find ourselves in a moment where we are going to create conflict between the team mates and us because
You just
we.
define me.
Well, I'm trying
'cause
to be. You
I-
know,
I
I
have-
think that we all have
I had,
fallen into
I had
that.
qualities I'm all for,
Mm-hmm.
but then like you said, the analytic and the driver take control sometimes and lands me somewhere well I don't want to be. Or I
Yes.
didn't intend it to be.
Ah, gotcha.
Yes. And what time is it here?
I think it was 8:30.
8:30. Really? Okay.
Yeah, 8:35.
Okay, so 8:35. I'm gonna give you a quick note about that. So last week we put the lamb here, the peacock here, the lion here, and the owl here,
Mhm.
right? Those are very nice animals, and I think they describe the communication styles perfectly. However, I think somebody one day was thinking about something crazy, and they realized that if you take all those four communication styles to the extreme, you're gonna end up with something completely different. And I think that's when the 100-acre farm was created. Do you guys know what the 100-acre farm is?
Oh, the 100-acre farm?
The 100-acre farm is where Winnie the Pooh lives. So I think that the guy, I don't know if he was a genius or if he didn't do it on purpose, but when you look at the characters of Winnie the Pooh, you're gonna realize that you're going to find the extreme, mostly negative part of all these communication styles. When you look at Pooh,
He's in here, Paul.
Pooh doesn't get anything done. Pooh is she just wants honey. And he just wants to he talks really slow, and he's very, very calm. He is very slow. He gets stuck everywhere. You know, but he is the glue. He is the glue that brings everybody. He wants to make everybody happy, and he is the sweetest, most amazing character. He's the main character. He doesn't get anything done. He's just sitting there waiting to just be cuddled.
Puro jaleo.
That's Pooh.
Puro jaleo.
That's Poodle. You see what I have? That's Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. I figured I'd make it short, but Winnie didn't make it. Pooh didn't make it either. So Winnie the Pooh, because neither of the other abbreviations work. So in here, you're gonna find the rabbit. I don't know if you ever have watched the cartoon, but he's like, places to go, things to do. I don't have time for you. Don't step on my carrots. I have carrots to grow. Don't go anywhere. What are you doing? He never helps. He never talks. He's very isolated, very bossy, and he's always touching his places to go. And he's moving like there's nothing else in the world but his own tasks. He doesn't care. I mean, sometimes they ask for help, and he always answers the same way. Places to go, things to do. Places to go, things to do. You know, he don't touch my carrots. I'm not gonna help you. This is my stuff. Don't take it. You know, he's very, very selfish and very time focused and obsessive with the things that he has to do. Then in here, I like him. You have Tigger. Tigger. Woo! He's jumping on his tail, annoying everybody. He just wants to find his other people that are like him. He's extremely annoying. He's extremely inconsiderate to others. He jumps all over the place and he drives everybody crazy, and he's extreme energetic, and he barely can understand you can barely understand what he's saying because he talks very fast. You know, that's Tigger. Have you ever watched the cartoon? Tigger is amazing.
Yeah,
Tigger's
probably be bouncing off the wall.
And he's just jumping up and down. That's Tigger. And in here, you're gonna find Eeyore. I lost my tail. Bad day today. Nobody loves me. I don't know why I am. I don't know what the meaning of life is. Have you ever been to Igor? Igor is the most negative, just negative, blue, gloomy little donkey, and he walks around like this. He's like, what's the meaning of life? You know? And now, a bad owl can get like that. You know, a bad owl can get really negative. It's like, what are we doing here? What's the purpose of this? If there's no use, you know, and they will just get into that cycle of, you know, negativity that this one will go like, I don't care, I'm happy, and everybody goes like, shut up. And then the driver will go, let's go, things to do, hurry up, do this, do that. And the amiable, like Pooh, will just try to, well, every time
Where's
you
my honey?
Where's my money? That's all. When you watch one of their cartoons though, which I watch many, well, not by choice, but I have to, you realize that in every episode, one of them, or all of them, or some of them, get into trouble, and they find a way, even with their personalities and with the lack of, you know, understanding of the other's personality, they always manage to figure it out. They always manage to get Pooh unstuck from the tree where he got stuck, or find Igor's tail that got lost somewhere, or, you know, find where Pooh he got lost somewhere and couldn't find them, and they searched for him. They always find a way to help each other, even on the negative side. So I also like that analogy, because every time that I watched that cartoon, it didn't mean anything to me when I was watching it. I was just watching a cartoon until I realized the styles, and I was like, wow, those are definitely traits of all the 4 different communication styles. In the negative, in the extreme part of the spectrum, where they do not have any self-control or self-knowledge of what they are and they should be doing. So on that note, that is very important to realize when you're an expressive person. It happens to me. I'm like, I am being triggered, let me quiet down. Because sometimes when we get excited, when we get a little happy, and when we have a lot of things in our mind, we just can't stop talking, you know. You tend to stand up, like I told you before, from other people, and they can be destructive to other members of the team. They can be inconsiderate to other people's times too, because they keep talking and they don't care if you're working. They just want you to hear and listen, because they have stuff to say, and they raise their voices a little bit louder because they are direct communicators, and they keep talking and they can suck up the time of others, and it can hurt their work. That is something that you have to just watch out when your expressive side takes over. When your driver's side takes over, you need to be mindful of the fact that you can get a little impatient, that you can get a little maybe over assertive with others, that your concept of urgency may increase a little bit, and you have to understand that, for example, this person, the concept of urgency on an amiable is almost always really low. They have their own pace. They get into the groove. They are very good workers, but they work at a pace that is set by them, and they have their own way of doing it. And it's usually, because they're opposite, is usually not on the timetable of the driver. The driver usually has its faster timetable that the amiable cannot meet. So they tend to aggravate each other, because this person feels rushed, this person feels impatient. It's like, okay, what's going on? So it's something that they both have to take in consideration. Don't feel that it's personal. I mean, you can try to be quicker, but in this quadrant, quicker means stress, means lack in attention to detail. So sometimes it's better to just allow that person to just have a little bit of time, extra time, because that's their style. They need time, just like the analytic. The analytic is not that it's low. The analytic is, it needs to double check. It tends to be a perfectionist. It tends to look at all the details and make sure that everything is crossed and all the I's are dotted. So that takes them a little bit of time too. So it can make the driver impatient. So the analytic, when the analytic gets a little on the stressful side, they can start becoming negative, and they can start becoming a little complaining. Let's just say the complaints start to just build in their mind and sometimes build in their mouths. And that's what you have to watch out. That there is always, just try to look into other people, into other groups, just to look at the positive side of things, to look into the silver lining or whatever it is. It's hard for an analytic person to have the imagination or the creativity or the positive thinking to look into the silver lining or the positive side. So they tend to just get into a negative place that tends to hurt themselves more than anybody else, but it also affects the dynamic of the whole team. Do you feel me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So do you still think that you have the same, that you're in the same quadrants?
Yeah.
All right. So what time is it now?
We've got 10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes? Okay.
And 10 real minutes.
10 real minutes? Okay. So let me just give you a couple of hints about communication. When you communicate with the driver, focus on the results first. That's what they want to hear. They want to focus on the results. If you come into, and since you admitted that you're mostly a driver, I'm going to use your people's as an example. I hope you don't feel, now
you
we
can
are
throw me
more.
out there all you want.
Okay. When you come to Mary,
Because
let's
this
use
is all
Mary.
about learning.
Let's use Mary now. When you come to Mary, focus on the resource first. She's going to hear the results first. If you start with the problem, she may want to solve the problem. She needs to know that you already solved the problem, and you're just advising her of what happened. That way, her mind will be at ease instead of working on the problem.
Yeah, while you talking, she trying to think about what
Yes.
figure it out.
Give me the system ID. No, wait. Let me just tell you, I fixed it. I fixed it. I just want you to know that it was fixed, but this is what happened. Focus on the result first, because otherwise you may cause extra stress on her that she doesn't, and you may lose her because she's just thinking about something else. State your best recommendation, but do not offer 15 alternatives, because she already has her own recommendations in her mind. So if they want input, drivers usually they don't welcome a lot of input because they are very good decision makers. So basically, one or two, maybe one. My best advice would be this. This is what I would do, and then let them decide. Don't feel bad if they decide otherwise, because they are very good thinkers and they have their own ideas. They tend to focus on their ideas first and see if they work. It's not that they don't want your input. They will take it if they need it, but they tend to go with their ideas first to give it a try. I am like that. I tend to go with my ideas first, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Be as brief as possible. That's another thing for the driver. If you start telling the story about how you were in your computer and then you got the call, it's gonna itch. So you just go like, hey, I had this, and this happened. Is that okay? If she needs extra details, she will ask you for the details. That's up to her. Don't try to offer all the details from the beginning, because it's not what she needs. It's not how she wants to be communicated with. It's not that she's going to bark at you, because that's not the point. The point is to try to communicate in the best way possible with each and every one of us. And not to avoid being heard, but to communicate effectively as a team and get the message across in the best way possible depending on those styles. It's not because of the consequences, but because we want to become more of a merged team and more melded as a team. Get it? So the fourth advice would be visual aids. If it's something complicated or if it's something that is numbers, bring a paper with the numbers. Don't say, okay, so it was on the first term it was 15 and then, no, bring her the numbers, show her the paper, let her see so she can look at the numbers and just visual aids are important for a driver. They need to see what you're talking about because they're going to focus on that and be more effective if you do that, okay? So that's the best way to communicate with the driver. Now, when you are with an analytical person, if you know that person is analytical, be precise and state the facts. That's one thing that they like. They like the facts. They like you to organize your discussion in a logical way. They want logic. If what you say don't make sense, they don't have the imagination to just figure you out. You have to be straight to the point. You have to include options and alternatives with pros and cons because they like to problem solve. They like to put things together. So they are willing to listen to what you think is the pro, what you think is the con. Okay, all right, so if I do this way, if I do this way. So they are willing to listen to those type of things and do not rush their process of thinking. Just let them think about what you're saying and let it click in their mind before you move to the next step. Because if you rush the steps, the analytical is gonna get stressed. Is that what you think, Tree? Is that how it is? Don't give you 15 steps at the same time, no? One step at a time? And then let me allow you to write it down.
Exactly.
Once you write that one down,
Then I can move it. And then I can look at it and then I can review it.
and then I can give you the
process it.
second one,
Exactly.
right? And I can tell you, okay, so if we do it this way, then this is going to happen. If we do it this way, this is going to happen.
These are results.
And you want to figure out the results on your own, right? You don't want me to tell you what the results are going to be. You want.
So I need to see it. I need to be able to see it for myself.
There you go. So I'm good.
3 minutes.
All right, 3 minutes. Okay. Amiables. Allow for small talk. Let them talk. They need to talk. They need to talk to you. They need to give you the whole story. You need to be patient. You need to be tolerant. They need to tell you the whole call. What happened in the call until they tell you the end. You have to let them. You need to let them just discuss at least a little bit of that discussion. Stress. Show the ideas. Show when you want Regina, let's use Regina, to understand something, show her how it worked in the past. Let her understand that this is something that worked before. So she can understand that you're not just bringing something that you're winging it. She wants to be secure. She wants to feel safe. She wants to feel that what you're bringing is something that is tried and true. Does that make sense?
Right.
But you also want to be listened to. You want us to hear what is it that your version of the story is, and then just give you your input. Am I right? Okay. So when you're talking to an expressive, it's a different story. You have to allow time for discussion, not for ideas, not because I just want to go back and forth with you, back and forth. There is some kind of discussion that we're going to have, and we're going to have a conversation. And every time that you tell me something, I'm going to tell you something in return. So you have to have that patience to let me give you input, because that's what is that discussion that we feed into that give us the energy to continue and get the task done. Do not be impatient, because we can get into tangents. We can go everywhere. We start here and then we go there and we go there. Bring us back. Okay, the task at hand. We were talking about this. If not, you'll be somewhere else, as you know, and you will not even notice. And emphasize the future value and the uniqueness of what they're doing. We get excited when we know that what we're doing is original, is creative. That's how we get excited when we know that this is something new. We're completely different than the owl. We want to new. We want innovation. We want to spearhead something that never been done. You know, we want to take risks. You know, which is something that the analytical may not feel more comfortable about. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there because we're almost done, right? For time. And what I want to do for the next one is I want you to take those papers and I want you to think about your specialists. You all have a different specialist. I would like to talk about the specialists on the next section. Maybe we can figure out or try to make up their styles because they are part of the team as well, and we communicate with them almost on a daily basis. So it would be really beneficial for us to kind of try to figure out what the styles of each and every one of the specialists are. So as we communicate with them, we learn how to put things together in writing and on the phone when we talk to them to communicate more effectively with them as well.
So you want us all to put all the specialists in the
No,
quadrant?
our specialist,
Really?
right? The one that
Just
you
one.
with, the one
Really?
that just pick one, or the one that
'Cause
we
they-
with currently.
Okay, what would
We've
you
all
like?
worked with them, right? So why not? Let's just give it a try. We've got 2 weeks,
Okay,
you know.
All right.
I'm gonna do it too.
okay.
Primarily yours, but you know, I mean, there's no harm in this
I like that
assignment,
idea.
right? Let's
Yeah,
see if
and
we
then
can
we'll talk it
identify
over.
who they are.
Mhm.
And you know, and not only that, but it's perception as well. They may not think
Yes.
that's what they are.
I like that idea. So think about the specialists, put them in and think about how they communicate, and then we'll start the last meeting discussing the specialist styles, so we can kind of get a, because we have already discussed our styles, so we kind of already know each other. It's pretty much clear. So I wanna see how we can integrate them into the team too, so we learn how to communicate with them as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Marge.